Hi, welcome to episode number 2 of building the Tjalk. Last time I showed you that I painted the hull and various stuff on the deck, worked on the lee boards, nautical term, and I worked on the rudder and, well, more bits and pieces. So in this video I'll probably, let's make a prediction, work on the base, install the masts. Probably I'm also going to clean up my workshop and move some stuff around. Not sure if I'll put it in the video, but maybe the audio or the lighting will be a little bit better. I think that's about it. Under promise, over deliver. Have fun. I'm going to be making the base for the first part of this video. I got this one pre-made in the package, but I always like trying new stuff with this type of base, because I can of course put some, I don't know, vertical parts on this and then the ship will rest on it and it's fine, but I don't know, I want to experiment a little bit. So put this one up for sale somewhere for somebody else to use, and I'm going to make something different. So I have these thin strips of wood left over. They used to be parts of the blinds in my house, and I thought, let's get rid of this junk and try to make a base out of it. It's a little bit thin and flexible, so you can probably see it bending a little bit, but not too bad, I think. I think it's doable. And, well, as I said, it's an experiment. So I had the following idea. I have a few of these handles. They are made for doors or drawers. So with screws at the bottom, these can go out like this. So I thought, let's attach these to this piece of wood. And they are sitting on it like that. I have 2 of them, and then the ship will rest on these handles. So the nice thing is that with these handles they are quite heavy. So if you pick up the ship, then the glue that attaches the ship to this has to carry also the weight of these handles, and they're quite heavy. I don't really want that. So I'm going to make it in such a way that you can put your hands underneath and lift the ship like this. That's a safer way of doing it, and also it's pretty stable that way. So that's the way it's going to be made. I think that the bottom of the ship is not really flat enough to rest on this properly. So maybe I have to remove I don't know, maybe half a millimeter of wood somewhere. That's why I left the black paint here. So I may have to change that a little bit. I don't know yet. But it's a cool experiment. I do have to be a little bit careful because I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, there's a little bit of damage on it. I want to put that on the inside. It's also a nice reason to get rid of these old things. I think they belong to my grandfather. So good times to use them somewhere. I was planning to use them a few years ago for my model of the Amerigo Vespucci, which is huge. I'm glad I didn't do it, because this would not have made a good enough base for that. But for this ship it's perfect, I think. So I'm going to be sawing the wood to a certain length, a little bit shorter than the original base. Drill some holes, shorten these screws a little bit, then put it in place, and pray for the best. Right, I'm going to do some stuff. So I made the base. It's not completely finished yet, but it's just put together to see if the ship fits nicely onto it. So here we go. Just do it by hand a little bit. So that's sort of the look I was aiming for. quite like it. But it was already during testing that you can see that there is a large gap there. And it's actually a lot larger than I'm happy with. And on the far side it's resting completely on one of the bars. But here you can see that there's only contact here. And of course I can take a little bit off the ship here and then lower it a little bit. But this is a lot. And probably this is a single planked ship, so if I take 1.5 millimeters out and it's a little bit too much, I can spread it out over 2 sides, but I don't know, I think I'm gonna improvise a little bit more. So I made part of the rigging on the bow of the ship. It's drying at the moment, so let me point at something. These knots over here are drying and these knots over there are drying. You can see that they're still wet. So there are some clamps hanging down there just to tighten the lines a little bit. So later on that rope is going to go through that, I think it's called a block. And then it's gonna, from here, loop back through that block and then through that hole and then attached to that black thing there. So, but this has to dry for a while, not too long, but I usually try to be on the safe side. Meanwhile, that is the boom. It's drying. Was also a bit of metal came loose, so. That's probably dry by now. So the entire thing is, let me show you. I guess it's a bit dark. Looks a bit dirty. But I'm going to keep it that way. I thought about it for a while, but for the same thing for the mast, it's not that nice anymore, but it's too much work to fix, and I already spent a bit more time on the painting, so I'm gonna just keep this as it is. And somehow it's also a little bit of respect for the previous owner, the person who started building this ship. I try to honor his progress. So finally, there in the background you see the base that I made. I think it's also pretty much dry. So first of all, you can see that it's not straight. I knew that beforehand. Consequently, these are also not straight. I mean, these bars. But I decided to keep it this way. I'm gonna remove the pencil lines. I'm gonna keep it mostly because I like the slimness of the wood. It's really small, and also this look of base is pretty good for the ship. And I'm probably not ever going to use this setup again. So I'm gonna keep it this way. I'll glue the ship on, I think, when it's finished and not before, because otherwise I'll have to carry this weight around all the time. This is quite heavy, but at least it will be finished once I remove the pencil lines. So yeah, another bit done, and getting ready for the next part. Okay, so we made more progress. The mast is glued in place. Also the boom has been glued, and I'm about to fix it over here. Oh yeah, I should tell you, let me have a pointer. I added a bracket here. I noticed it on the drawing, and it's part of the construction to fix the boom to the hull. Also, I'm preparing for making some of the rigging, so hold on. Here at the top you see that I added some blocks. So the first bit of rigging is going on later on. Here in the front I also made another bracket. It's actually a botch job. Look, it's not at all centered, it's pretty bad. But I was focusing on the sail, so I decided not to fix it. It's alright like this. So yeah, oh yeah, another thing to show. I don't know what this is called, gaff or something. It's going to be attached. Let me show over here. As you can see on the camera, I added this metal bracket over there. So this was not part of the kit. Actually, this is supposed to be made of wood, but it broke off. And decided to use this as an experiment. So there's a similar bracket attached to the mast over here. So just insert a metal pin and then it can be attached. There's the advantage that it can also move about a little bit in case it's necessary. I don't know yet. So I made a start with making the sails. By the way, if you're wondering why I'm sitting so weirdly at my desk, it's because my head is blocking the light. So just quickly, I made a template out of cardboard. So this fits the ship pretty nice, pretty well I should say. And then I of course transferred it over here to the, I think this is cotton or linen? No, it's not cotton. I don't know, it's a bit stretchy, but it's the same thing I used for the Niltje Jacoba, one of my other videos. So I was planning to put a bit more effort into the sails this time, but I have been putting it off for a long time. I haven't worked on the Eendracht for a while. So I decided just to finish it and leave the sails for another time. Of course I'm going to try to make them as well as possible, but I don't know how well they're going to turn out. But at least let's give it a shot again and let's see if I can do it a bit better than at the Niltje. So I made the sails. Let's see what they look like. So this is supposed to be straight edge. It's okay, it's sagging a bit here. Yeah, it's okay. The stitching is a bit. It's better than the Niltje, but still. It's going up and down a little bit here. Well, I'm not unhappy with this one. It's the first one I did. Oh yeah, but the stitching is not so great. No, but look, can I see, is this visible or not? Let's see. Like this. So I started quite high up the point here and then moved to the edge of the seam and then went straight here. So I did it differently for the other ones, but it's not so pretty. Oh, I glued something. This is alright. So when I made the Niltje, I put some double stitching on various endings of the stitching, I guess. I didn't really like it, so this time I glued the ends in place. This is not the way it's supposed to be, probably, but I think it works. This is the smaller sail, second one I made. It's already a lot better, I think. I'm still not sure how I can make this seam a little bit straighter. Yeah, so there is a pencil mark on the inside of the seam that I use to fold. But yeah, I'd like to learn how to do this better. I'm not sure how. Yeah, this is alright. Yeah, this is probably the best one of all of them. Yeah, but good enough. So I continued with the sails. I was trying to add some lettering to the sails, and I printed these letters in various sizes. So 90, 72 and 84, sorry, 48. Oops. I decided to use the 48 one, but I apparently cut out the 72M. And I did some experiments. So here you see various letters in various different pencils, and this one is in paint. I'm going to try to see which one is the nicest. So after a few tries I decided to go with this one. It's actually licorice scented. So the sail now smells like licorice, but that's okay. So I also changed the letters because these MO22, so MO that's me and 22 is this here, has too many curves in it and it's annoying to cut it out. So that M is still alright over there, but it has these spiky things that tend to bend. So I switched to TH71. It's much easier to cut. It doesn't mean anything. But it's okay. So this is the result. This is the sail. I'm trying to keep it close. Maybe with the light in the background. I don't know. So it's a little bit smudged, especially the H on that side over there. The template broke while I was coloring it in. That's why you get only one try. Didn't want to do it again, and yeah, I'm still pretty happy. So what I like about it is that you can still see the texture of the sail through the black. I really like that. I'm now looking at the back of the sail and considering. No, I'm not going to paint that as well. I'm going to leave it. I'm already happy that I colored it on the front of the sail, not the back of the sail. So this little thingy was really helpful because it has these squares on it, so I can make sure that the lettering is lined out with the bottom, even though the bottom isn't completely straight, but it's straight enough like this. So yeah, pretty good result, I think. It's it's not bad. I also ironed the sails so that they are nice and smooth. So yeah, ready to go on. So that's it for the second episode of Building the Unity. There's not that much left, we're almost done. So I'm gonna stop talking and finish it.